Good evening. My name is Leanne Carmack, and I will serve as your moderator for this evening's candidate forum. Tonight's forum is co-sponsored by the League of Women Voters of Rutherford County and Murfreesboro, as well as the City of Laverne. Tonight's forum is for the Laverne Board of Aldermen. And before introducing the candidates, I would like to outline the procedures for the forum quickly. We will start with 2 minutes worth of opening remarks from each of you. We will have a series of maybe 6 to 8 questions that you will have 1 minute to respond to. And then on the last question, you will have 2 minutes. And that 2 minutes should include your closing remarks as well as your final answer. We want to thank each of you for your gracious acceptance of our invitation to participate. There is one candidate missing from tonight's forum, and that is Kathy Tyson. She had agreed to participate in the forum, but had an unfortunate sudden death of a close family member and had to be out of state at this particular time. So our condolences are with her. And speaking first tonight for your 2-minute opening remarks, Mr. Jones, if you'd like to start us off, let's go.
First of all, thank you. I think the League of Women Voters does a wonderful job every year with its bipartisanship and the inventive questions that come about. I'd like to also extend condolences to our colleague and her family, Kathy, for tonight. I look forward to serving another 4 years with the city. It's a learning process. Each year you get to learn more and more, and you get to appreciate the city of Laverne more and more. I feel that with the background that I have thus far, I can continue to do the things that I've been doing for the city of Laverne, and I do look forward to having another 4-year term and working with the citizens of Laverne. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. No?
Hi, ladies. First of all, thanks for having us. This is my second go-around, so the first time a couple years ago, I was somewhat nervous, but not now. I've been in Laverne since 1994, and when I moved to Laverne, I hit the ground running. I opened up a youth basketball league. I got involved in sports, football, baseball, and I stayed with it for about 20 years. I made a lot of friends, and I learned about our city. Unfortunately, some of it was not very good, and I felt like 2 years ago I wanted to get involved and see if I could help. As an alderman, though, you're limited to what you can do. Don't make no mistake about it. A lot of people think the alderman carries all this weight. It doesn't work that way, but I've learned that. So I decided to run for a 4-year term. Last time I was appointed for 2 years, so I've decided to run 4. I feel like by helping the people and taking phone calls, sending emails, as an alderman should, I feel like I've done my part to help the citizens and the city, and also, as Alderman Jones says, I want to say my condolences for Miss Kathy Tyson's godfather, is who it was. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Skinner?
Ladies, thank you for having us this evening. I appreciate the opportunity to come talk. If people will know, I look forward to being able to talk. And that's one of the things that I have finally decided to, after years of all my friends saying, you know, either put up or shut up, I've decided to put up. I would like to be the voice of the people of the city that I have grown up in. I've been here since 1960, and this is where my love lies. There's no doubt about it. Anybody that knows me or anybody that meets me, they will find out that I do love our city. It's because there's so much history here. I've got to know each of the members up here, and I think all of us would like to say that, you know, we're not running against each other. We're running for not only ourselves, but for the city, because that is what we do as an alderman. We are supposed to find out the concerns of the citizens, address them, and find the best way we can to make these things happen for them. There's so many things that need to be done, so many good things that have been done, so many good projects that we have in progress, and also so many things that we need to find out how to make happen. And if given the opportunity, I would like to be able to do that. I would love to be an active participant in seeing the city move forward. Like I say, I was not born here, but I was raised here. This is where I prefer to see my last days. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Skinner. And with that, we'll move to you, Mr. Waldron.
First of all, I want to thank Bonnie, Judy, and Leanne for being here. I want to thank the League of Women Voters, the Murfreesboro-Rutherford County chapter, and I also want to thank the staff, the people of Laverne City that helped put this together, and I want to thank the people in attendance here that's watching it, and also the ones that's watching it on television. My roots go deep in Laverne. My family's been here over 200 years. You know, I've watched this area grow from a small community to a major industrial city. And for 14 years, I've been on the council. From like 2004 to 2018, I was on the council. And so many things has happened at the time I was on the council. You know, it's obvious as you see. And I've served on several committees and boards. I've had all 4 levels of government training from MTAS through UT Knoxville. So the 14 years I was on the council, took numerous courses on different things and spent a lot of time. But main thing, I love Laverne. My family roots go deep. I love the people of Laverne, and that's one reason I decided to come back and run again, because experience, I've got a lot of experience that I've gathered in the last 14 years that I was on the council, and I'd like to share my experience with the council members we got now, because Laverne does have a young board, you know. Thank you.
Okay, thank all of you for those opening remarks. So we're going to get this forum going with asking you what everyone wants to know, every voter wants to know. If you are elected or re-elected, what would you like to accomplish in your term? Mr. No.
Starting with me first?
Yes.
Awesome. Again, I decided to run for 4 years because what I have learned, I ran my campaign 2 years ago on common sense, something you don't find a whole lot in government. Well, let me be the first to tell you that common sense doesn't always work because government is extremely slow. But I can see the light at the end of the tunnel because we've got so much good things going on. But I want to continue to get emails, phone calls, people coming up to me, try to steer them in the right direction. And I just want to keep helping them. That's exactly what I want to do. That's why I want to run for another 4 years. Thank you.
Thank you. And just as a reminder, for these questions going forward, you will have 1 minute until the last question. So, Mr. Skinner, would you like to take that? What do you hope to accomplish during your term?
If I could just get the citizens of our community to come together again as it was when I first moved here. I know that's grandiose, but by the same token, I know it can be accomplished. If everybody works together for the betterment of our city, not only will our city become more vibrant, but I'm all about family. And that's what I have learned in my years here, that we help each other. If somebody needs something, you help them. You don't ask for anything in return. It's the love of the community that is bringing me here today. And it will be because of my love of the community that will take me on into the 4 years if I am so chosen. But as I said earlier, a sense of community. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Waldron, same question. What you hope to accomplish?
One thing I like to accomplish is the 14 years I was on the council, we got a lot of things done. Like, we opened up a lot of streets to Lake Forest. We got Waldron Road, 4-lane from Murfreesboro Road to the interstate. I like to build on it and run Waldron Road all the way out to Rock Springs Road. Old Nashville Highway is a major street that needs an improvement. And, you know, we done so much the 14 years and started so much. Traffic, and I'd like to see a kiosk for people can come to Laverne and get their driver's license. I think that's very important with a kiosk. Traffic is going to be a big issue in the next 10 years, and we got to get out behind the 8 ball and get a handle on it, because I think traffic is going to be the key to Laverne's success. And I've just got the experience that I've had for 14 years, and I thank you.
Thank you. Same question, Mr. Jones. What do you hope to accomplish?
I'd like to tag on to a couple of things that he just said. One of the things is Laverne is a growing city. It's going to continue to grow, and along with the help of our leaders in the State House, hopefully we can get to a point where we can get a kiosk and much more things in Laverne that will cause people, instead of going through Laverne, they come to Laverne. And one of the first things that I wanted to do when I first got started was I would love to see Laverne get us another couple of hotels in our area, because people are paying $300 a night for hotel rooms down in Nashville when they could come down here and pay $299 and go on and don't have to worry about the traffic and everything. I'd love to see us get some hotels, and that's one of the things that I will continue to work on for the city of Laverne. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Our next question will begin with Mr. Skinner, and people are asking about what are your thoughts about the future of downtown Laverne?
Future downtown Laverne, as you very well know, we've just received a grant from the state where we're going to be able to improve Murfreesboro Road. I would love to see something focusing on Laverne, except that where when people do come through, it's going to make them want to stop. That's what, you know, we've always been about. Our history is very rich here, though not many people know about it. We need to highlight some of the things that have happened in the past and go on from that point, and to make things prevalent to Laverne. As I say, right now, everybody, when they want to do something, they have to leave Laverne to do it. I would love to see more community activities. Get people involved. That's what everybody wants. They want to stay home, and they want to have fun here at their home instead of having to go elsewhere for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Same question, Mr. Waldron?
The big thing for growth in Laverne is traffic. We have got to get back to put traffic on top of the agenda. You know, Old Nashville Highway and South Waldron Road is key to the growth of Laverne. Just like we widen Waldron Road from Murfreesboro Road to Interstate. That's just like day and night. Sidewalks. Till I got on the council in 2004, Laverne didn't have a sidewalk or sidewalk program. Me and the planning commission, we implemented the start of the sidewalk program. Retail. When I got mayor in 2014, I think, I was in charge of my administration of building Walmart. Retail, widening the roads, improving infrastructure is key. And Laverne has done that greatly, and I thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Jones, downtown.
One of the things I'd love to see in downtown, of course, we're going to have to put up with more the traffic because we are a major thoroughfare to Murfreesboro if people don't want to stay on the interstate. But with the grant that we received from the state, one of the things that I'm looking forward to is those sidewalks. I want to see more foot traffic. Laverne is big enough to accommodate, but we're small enough to where we need to give people a chance if they want to walk around the city without fear of being hit by a car or anything. And once we get the funding the funding that's in place, once they start initiating the sidewalk down Murfreesboro Road, I think that we can look at that as other things that are going to be able to come to fruition. And I'd love to see a lot more foot traffic in the city with people that are deciding to walk to their local stores and things. Thank you.
Thank you.
When you say downtown Laverne, I'm assuming you mean Murfreesboro Road. You know, we just got a $2.6 million grant that this board's worked hard for, so we got that, and they're going to do the sidewalks and the crosswalks. We also got the Smart 24 corridor. As a matter of fact, I think they're out there working on it today to help the flow of traffic on Murfreesboro Road. So between that and one of the guys talked about restaurants. Trust me when I tell you that our economic department is working hard and doing their due diligence to get that. It's not a matter of us wanting, it's a matter of them wanting us. So our economic department, they go there all the time. Tom Broker and his team, they're on the phone relentlessly trying to get those things here. And as far as downtown, cleaning it up is the main thing. Thank you.
Thank you. We will start with you, Mr. Waldron, on this one. Do you support term limits for mayor and alderman members? Why or why not?
Well, I really hadn't given it a whole lot of thought. I don't say I'd be against it. I know I've been on the council 14 years. I've been off twice, so, 14 years. One thing about term limits, when you get on the council, the first year is a learning stage. You don't know the employees. You don't know nothing. So the first year is a learning stage. The second year is still a learning stage, and your first term is really a learning stage. I've had 3 terms as alderman, and I can tell you experience. You got 250 some odd employees. It's hard. You recognize the face, but you hard to recognize everybody's name unless you see them every day. I wouldn't rule out being against term limits is how long the term limits is. I think it gets to a time that your age might determine the time of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Same question, Mr. Jones. Term limits for mayor and alderman members. Why or why not?
I'm not against it. If it's something that comes to a vote, I would definitely require it to come to a vote and let the people decide on whether or not they feel it should be. The way I felt about it personally is the size of Laverne itself. It's more of a family type arena as opposed to the sizes of our larger cities in Nashville, Chattanooga, and whatnot. But as far as the comfort level of people being able to walk up and talk to the people that they know, that they've known for years, and being able to feel the comfort and knowing that you're going to you'll know that that person is going to will or will not do something for you. Again, personally, if it's voted, of course, I would go with the vote of the people, but personally, I would not have it. Thank you.
Okay.
Because of our situations, we have elections every 2 years. Like in my case, I got appointed, so I'm in for 2 years. If I win this one, I'm in for 4 years. If I had to put a pencil on a yes or no answer, I absolutely would say yes. I think that it's good to bring in fresh thinking minds. It's like the gentleman that told me the first night of my first meeting, he came before us, he stood where you ladies are sitting, and he said, if everybody's thinking alike, then someone's not thinking. And I think that bringing in fresh people, new people, letting the citizens decide, 2 term limits, whether it be 4 and 4 or 4 and 2 or whatever, I think is plenty ample enough to do or say what you want to do. And hopefully the people that's coming in will see what you've been doing and they will keep it going.
Yes.
So that's
Thank
my
you.
answer.
Mr. Skinner?
To me, that's a double-edged sword, because sometimes you're going to get somebody in there that absolutely goes headlong with everything they've got, and they start doing things for the city. Now, if they are relegated to 8-year period total, then a lot of the things that we need to accomplish are going to take longer than 8 years. But by the same token, as it was stated earlier, fresh ideas. It doesn't have to be fresh people, because I don't think any of us up here would be classified as fresh anymore. But by the same token, the ideas that the new people would bring would be beneficial. So you have to weigh that very carefully. And of course, as it was also stated, it's something that the people need to decide on. This is not something that you can say, oh yeah, let's do term limits.
Yeah.
Let the people decide.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Jones, we're coming to you next. The next question is, what specifically have you done to prepare for your role as an alderman if elected?
I've studied hard for the last 6 years as an alderman, which helps. Some of the other things, I've worked in a community environment. I've been with the VA for 30 years, and that prepared me quite well for the battle of some of the things that you have to fight to get done, or just being able to talk to different people and, try to get a feel for people in general. The other thing is I try to always stay on top of current events. I try to stay on top of any of the, especially anything that's going to impact the city. Some of the things you have to go and look for, but I've noticed lately anything bad, it seems to find you, and they can always tell you, they can always keep you abreast of everything that's bad. But I think being able to go out and just stay aware of what's going on around you helps a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Nope?
That's a really good question. You know, I hadn't been in office but just a very short time, and the first thing to do, Bruce sent me to my first MTAS. And the first thing they taught us at MTAS right off the bat was stay in your lane. So I started trying to learn from that in between the couple of MTAS classes that I had, the relentless hours of utility training that I had, and just people in general. I have learned to talk to people and know where to take their problems. And let's face it, this is a day and age of social media. Whether we like it or not, it's a day and age of social media. People reach out to you, whether it's Twitter or Facebook, whatever. You need to be transparent. People need to be able to see you. Whether they like you or not is irrelevant. You want them people to be able to talk to you and get in touch with you. Thank you.
There's so many things that I feel prepare me for this. The main one being, I've lived here my entire life. I get up. I frequent a lot of the businesses in this city. I know a lot of the citizens. I would like to get to know more. But there's so many things that everybody can bring to the table. Ideas. I have a lot of ideas. And I have asked a bunch of questions, and I have been told a lot of reasons why we can't do things. I would like to get in to find out how we can circumvent these events that we are facing right now to make the things that the people want happen, pure and simple. We're going to live here together. We need to work together. See somebody out on the road or something like that? Hey, neighbor, we're all neighbors here. This is a community, and I love it.
Thank you.
14 years I was chairman of the Historic Preservation Committee, you know, and, you know, when you talk about experience, you know, 14 years on the council, when somebody talks about the Carl Neal Place or the Parker Place or Ponderosa, I know what they're talking about. You know, before the lake come in, you know, the Percy Priest Lake and I-24 changed Laverne forever. You know, a lot of people don't remember that. You know, my family's, you know, everybody said, well, you know, my family's been here for 200 years. You know, I basically growed up in Laverne. I know Laverne like the back of my hand. The experience of being in Laverne basically all my life and being on the council for 14 years, you know, I've got the scars and the bruises to prove it. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question will go to you, Mr. No, first. What do you see as the role of city government in meeting the needs of the increasingly diverse population here in Laverne?
I remember that question from last time, and I think that we have a huge diversity of people. And we have the diverse restaurants to prove that. But I see those people all the time. I do work for them. I go to their grocery stores. I go to their car lots. We've even got a restaurant that's called Mex China. So we got the best of both worlds. I know in the last election, I got out and went to those stores, and I tried to get those people involved so they would not be afraid to approach us, not be afraid to get involved, not be afraid, because you know as well as I do, they're intimidated. They're intimidated by all of us, and I want them to know that, man, I got your back. You come out, talk to us. Even if you're not registered to vote, we're still going to talk to you. Thank you.
Same question, Mr. Skinner.
The diversity that this city has accumulated over the last 4 decades has grown from, not just the good old boys and girls that lived here, but has grown to encompass a great many people from different cultures, different religions, different backgrounds. In order for us to come together as one, we need to be kind to your neighbors. We need to spend time getting to know each other. You don't have to go over and have Sunday dinner with them all the time, but just be able to communicate with them on a level that they appreciate and they understand. That's going to bring us together, and that's what's going to take us into the future. Diversity, it seems like draws people away, pushes people away. We can use it to bring us together.
Thank you. Mr. Waldron?
You know, I guess the main thing would be service. You know, the people want service. That's the difference between government and private business. Private business is in business to make money. Government is in the business to provide service. You know, parks, greenways, walking trails, you know, if it's dog parks or splash pads, libraries. And we're fortunate in Laverne, in the last, when I was on the council, we got a top-notch library, top-notch park. You know, everything we got's modern. We can put it up against anybody. Service is what people want. At what level are they at? Everybody wants good service. In transportation, you got to have where people can move around freely. And providing service, that's the key to, I think, your question. Thank you.
Good, thank you. Mr. Jones? Increasing diverse population of Laverne.
I'm not only do I love it, I'm a proactive member of it myself. It's no secret that I'm the first black public official that was elected into the city of Laverne, but I don't want to be the last. I want to see the first Hispanic. I want to see the first Asian. Every place that was just mentioned about the restaurants we have, they can do more than cook for us. They can sit up here and help us make decisions in this city and help us to further everything that we need to do in this lovely city that's going to continue to grow. And we're not through with the explosion of individuals to come to our city. We're going to see a lot more because not to say anything about our neighbors to the west, but I think that at some point we're going to get more of them moving down this way because they're not going to be able to afford to stay in the other city. But I just think that we just need to make sure that they know that this is open to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now for something a little bit different, but environmental issues are on everyone's mind these days. So, Mr. Skinner, what do you think Laverne should do about recycling?
Recycling, everybody has to do their part to begin with. Do we have the capacity at our convenience centers to handle what needs to be done? Do we have the opportunities to take what we have and actually reuse it? Reuse, recycle. We have to come together to find out what everybody wants to do. Do we need to have a citywide system to where you have glass, paper, plastic, or does this need to be the individual's responsibility? Everybody has to take account of their own actions, but what does everybody need to do for the whole? And that's what we've got to find out right there. What can we do to get things done the way they need to be done? This will be a future discussion, I'm sure.
Okay. Same question, Mr. Waldron. Recycling.
That's a good question. I'm glad you asked that because my family was in the recycling business for over 65 years. The key to recycling is it's no money in it. You remember back when I was a kid, you went to the store and got a pop, you had a 3-cent deposit on the bottle. You brought the bottle back, and people was picking up bottles on the side of the road. Unless you make it profitable, and it needs to start with the federal government. Local government cannot afford to do it. It's got to be federal government has got to make it profitable for people to do it. People are not going to recycle if they're going to lose money. Companies not going to do it. My mother is a recycle junkie. She recycles everything, separates and washes it out, but most people are not going to do that. We got to make recycling profitable, and it's got to start with the federal government. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Jones, same question.
I think that one of the things that I was surprised to see in Laverne when I first got here was that they've got their own free dump. And that was amazing to me because we lost ours before I even left home as a child because it became too expensive for the city to upkeep. But if we're able to do that, then we're able to go the next level. All it takes is just making it so we make people realize it's something good to buy into. Recycling, whether you like it or not, solar panels, whether you like it or not, that's going to become the new norm, just like a mask walking into a bank and being applauded for it. That's going to become the new norm. We're going to have to start doing it. So that's one of the things that I would like to see advertised, and a lot of PSAs going out to individuals, explaining to them just how valuable it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. No.
Well, I tell you, that's going to be the future. Trash and energy is something that we're never going to be able to do without. If you go back a year or so ago, I think our mayor went and met with Rutherford County. I even think Mr. Sparks back there was there, and they talked about recycling. They talked about what we're going to do about the landfills. And if we don't find a way to work together with the private businesses and let them start there by separating, and then getting the people involved, because a lot of people don't really know how important that is. One of these days, our landfills are going to be full, but at least they can turn that into energy when they are. But then again, it's a catch-22. There's nowhere to take it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Waldron, we're going to start with you. If elected, how would you work with the current administration?
Well, most of it I've already worked with them. When I was mayor for 4 years, I worked with most of them anyway. You've got to be work with the council. You got to be a lot of give and take. You got to be able to bend, compromise. It can't always be your way. To get something done, two or three or four people might see it 2 or 3 different ways, but as long as you get to the end of the road together, you got to work together, and that's key. That's key to working together with the board. Everybody's got to work for a goal, and I believe everyone that I've ever served with on this board has had the good of Laverne in their heart. They might want to get there a different way, but you got to put your pride in your pocket. And I see that in federal government, Democrat and Republican. They think more of their party than do the country. They need to put the pride in their pocket and do what's best for the city of Laverne. And I truly believe that, and I thank y'all very much.
Thank you. Mr. Jones, how would you work with the current administration?
I think I can work with, I've once said before, I can work with The Rock if they just want to just stand around with me. But I just think that my main thing, there have been many things come across in front of me while sitting on this board that I didn't care for. But when the people of Laverne, the citizens of Laverne, start voicing what they do and don't want, that's what we're here for. We're here to accommodate the people. And sometimes you have to, let your pride or whatever take a back seat. I don't have a problem working with anyone as long as I can see that they are not putting their priorities before the people that they're supposed to be here to serve. And the only thing that overrides the people of the city is the city. As long as it's good for Laverne, it's good for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. No?
Hey, I get along with anybody. It's not personal, it's business. And I think in the last 2 years, I've proven that I can vote different, but at the same time, once we leave this boardroom, that's it, it's over with. I have different ideas, I have different ways of thinking, and I relate back to what I said a while ago. If everybody's thinking alike, in the last 2 years, we have voted a lot of stuff into the positive, both for the city and for the people and for the business aspect, and it's going to get better. It's going to get better with the board that we have, with the mayor, and, kind of keep us in track. Me and Calvin go at it. It's not personal, it's business, and that's where it stays, for the people, for the city. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Skinner, how would you work with the current administration?
As many have heard me say before, agree to disagree. If everybody thought alike, it'd be a very boring world. When you have something that comes up before the members, it's all right to be impassioned about what you believe, voice your opinion. But by the same token, you need to listen to what the other person sitting next to you has to say. Reason being, they may have a different slant on things than what you see. And if everybody works together, then you will be able to come to the crux of the matter, which is what is going to benefit the citizens of our community. It's not about who's sitting up here. From what I understand, if I'm not mistaken, we're servants of the people. We're not slaves to each other, but we are servants of the people. Everybody brings their ideas. As I said, agree to disagree.
Thank you. Okay, as I'm going to remind you now, this is going to be our 8th and final question, and you will have 2 minutes to respond. That 2 minutes should include your closing remarks. So, Mr. Jones, I'm going to start with you, and what do you envision for Laverne in the next 10 years?
My 2 or 3 hotels, first of all. I would love to see those built, and I'd love to see those filled to capacity every single time that there's an event anywhere. I would love to see the more foot traffic within the city that give the people a chance to walk around and look at the historical spots, look at go to the new stores that we've got for them to get around to. But I think if I had to narrow it down, I would say definitely you're going to continue to hear me say the hotels, because I think that it would help the city a great bit, and the foot traffic. But one of the other things I would love to see too, just as our flourishing senior citizen center and with our rec department, I would love to see a youth center. We need to have a youth center for these young people, even if we could combine the two and have them working around each other. I would love to have a youth center for something for individuals to do. Being isolated and with virtual schooling going on now, I see these kids running out, and it's like they're just running wild because they're just so happy to be able to get out, because everyone has a regiment. You get off the bus to go into the school. You leave out the school, get on the bus to go in the house. So I think that would be one of the things that these kids need to do, is come learn a little bit more about the city, have us a youth center for them, get us a couple of hotels, and lots of foot traffic. And I feel that these are some of the things that I'll be working on if I'm honored to be placed back into this position for the next 4 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Same question, Mr. No.
You know, that's, Alderman Jones talked about something that I feel strong about too, is a community center. Our children need that. I hope that sometime we can figure that out. Our senior centers, anybody that knows me knows that they're very close to my heart. This board got the FEMA building approved, and hopefully within the next short period of time, they're going to start building on that. And it's going to give the seniors somewhere to go. Plus, it's going to be a safe room. Don't get it confused with just being for seniors. It's going to be a safe room. Also, I'd just like to add that there's so many things that I'd love to see, but let's face it, it takes a lot of work in a lot of aspects. You can't just snap your fingers and it's there. I've seen this now, and I understand that now. I didn't quite understand it a couple years ago, but believe me, with government, it is a slow process. But I will tell you this, there's nobody in the city of Laverne or in the world that has gone through this COVID epidemic. This board has hung strong. We've worked through it with the leadership of different people, and we've ran our city. We've managed to keep everything going. Sometimes it was a little sporadic, but nobody alive has ever been through this COVID. So I think we've done a good job with that. We did our meetings virtually. Nobody's ever did that. But in closing, I just want to ask the citizens for your vote. And ladies, I hope in another 4 years, after my term is up, that I'm sitting back there turning the reins over to somebody that's smarter than we are. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. No. Mr. Skinner, your vision for Laverne in the next 10 years.
Well, in a perfect world, which we all hope for, I would like to be able to see us go around our city, period. Not have to go out for entertainment, for dining. If you have family come in that you don't have enough room at your house, to have them a place to stay. Yes, we do need things such as this. But what we need more than anything is everybody being on the same page. I would love to be able to see the day where you could walk out your house, walk down the street, get a bite to eat, stop by a little mom and pop shop on your way home. Go have some entertainment. Community involvement. For community involvement, you have to have community activities. The seniors, our greatest untapped resource in this city. We are talking a virtual wealth of knowledge in each and every one of them. They would be more than glad to spend their time helping with the children. The children are important because it's our responsibility to bring them up to become responsible adults in order to make their world better than what we have. And I think that's what we all want, a better world for the next generation coming up. So I do really, I really hope to see that happen. We have infrastructure problems that we have to work through. This can be resolved. It won't be overnight, but it can be taken care of. People working together to do things. Give the seniors something to do. I'm sure these people, I know these people would like to do something other than play games. Get them involved with the next generation coming up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Skinner. Mr. Waldron?
I'm excited about Laverne's future. This is my hometown. It's no place I'd rather be. The key for the next 10 years is going to be infrastructure in the widening of Old Nashville Highway and South Walden Road. Percy Priest Lake, the Hurricane Creek boat ramp, the Corps of Engineer property is something that Laverne needs to look at, to tap into. That's endless possibility down there. And, Laverne is a great place to live, work, and play. And we got one of the biggest industrial parks in the southeast. We got the jobs. Where we located is between Murfreesboro and Nashville. Laverne, ain't no way Laverne shouldn't be a booming place. And again, I want to thank the League of Women Voters, the staff of Laverne, the people who's in attendance tonight, the people who's watching at home. Elections are very important. This is my fifth one. I've served 14 years on the council. I've got the experience. I know Laverne. I keep saying my family's been here for 200 years. I grew up in Laverne. I know Laverne like the back of my hand. You talk about a part of Laverne, and I can tell you whose farm that used to be. Nobody knows Laverne like I do. Nobody's got the experience. I've been to so many seminars, classes, over the 14 years. Really, the city's got a lot invested in me over the 14 years. I don't have, day one, I can hit the ground running. I don't have to be trained. And term limits is good, but experience is great. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Once again, on behalf of the League of Women Voters and the City of Laverne, we want to thank all of you for your participation this evening. We also would like to thank the City Administrator, Bruce Richardson, and Media Specialist, Jerry Davenport, for their help in presenting this program on Laverne Television Channel 3, and also making it available later on Facebook and YouTube. As the League of Women Voters, we want to encourage all Laverne citizens to vote. Voter registration is open until October 5th, and early voting begins October 14th and runs through October 29th and includes 2 Saturdays. So you have an opportunity to vote on Saturday. You may early vote at any of the early voting locations, including the Laverne Multipurpose Building. And Election Day, which is Tuesday, November 3rd, you will be able to vote at any of the voting centers in Rutherford County, whichever one is most convenient to you. Please exercise this important right to determine who will serve on the Laverne Board of Aldermen. Your vote counts, and we would like to close with a small round of applause for those who participated.